Hello. I think this is twice in 1 week I've hopped on, so yay. I wanted to talk today about your book and how I think I have a guest here coming in. Hey, my guest. You want to sit on my lap? Hi. This is my daughter, Talia. What's up?
Mommy, I'm gonna keep watching Gabby's Dollhouse.
You're watching a show? Okay. Well, I'm doing a video. I'm going to talk to everybody about their books.
Mommy, I just need your phone.
All right now. So, I wanted to start by saying that your book is not for everyone. And that's really important to remember because sometimes you start writing the book. Hi, Deb. You start writing their book and you start thinking about all these people that you have to please and all these people who might read it and all this stuff, and it's all going on in your head. And pretty soon you just don't write your book. It's not important to please everyone. So I want to think about this, or I want you to think about this. When was the last time that you ordered pizza with a group of people? Did everybody agree on pizza toppings? Probably not. You can't please a family of 4 most of the time with pizza toppings. Now, people might compromise or whatever, but chances are you've got somebody over here who wants sausage, somebody who wants plain cheese, somebody who wants mushrooms and ham, somebody who wants, pineapple and something. People don't always want the same thing. They're willing to compromise, but it's really tough ordering pizza for a group of people. Hey, Sarah. So it's the same thing with your book. Your book is not going to please every single person. I wouldn't look at every person I've ever met and say, yes, you're going to enjoy reading my book. This is absolutely for you. It's for a very small group of people, right? And you don't have to please all the people that that book is not for. I'm going to say that again. You do not have to please all the people that book is not for. Why? Because you're looking at the group of people that it is for. That book is for a very specific group of people. Not everyone, specific group. Hey, Amanda. So, when you sit down to write your book, don't make a goal of pleasing everyone. Don't make that your goal. Your goal is to educate people. Your goal is to help people. Your goal is to share your story. What is going to help those people? You don't have to sit there and go, well, what if this person needs to hear about this? What if this person doesn't need to hear about this? What if I forgot to put something in? What if I said something that that person isn't going to like? Well, don't worry about it because everybody's going to get something different out of your book. First of all, they'll get what they need. They'll read it from a different perspective. Everything that you write is taken from the perspective of that person. So I have a different group of experiences from you. So I'm going to be reading it from a different perspective than you would be reading the same book. We could both look at a book by Brene Brown or by Gloria Ward. She's one of my clients. She just put her book out last week and hit bestseller status. So yay for her. But we might all read her book and go, this is landing differently with each of us. And I guarantee that there's someone out there that isn't going to like her book, that isn't going to like Brene Brown's book, that isn't going to like my book. There are people who don't like my book, and I'm okay with that because that book's not for those people. So I'm trying to read the notes that I have on my phone here. So this is kind of cool. This is something that most people don't know about because this is something we talked about when I was doing my grad work. Most people don't know how books get to be in the canon or get to be classics. And I'm using quotes around those words because there are a lot of books that are considered classics that I think are garbage. So yeah, I'm going to put that out there. There are lots of books there that I don't like. Why? Doesn't resonate with me. But you know what? That book wasn't written for me. It was written for somebody else. And chances are it was written for somebody else who lived a couple hundred years ago. They weren't expecting when they wrote that book that somebody in the 21st century is going to pick that book up and read it. That's not what they were worried about. And I don't want you to worry about that either. So let me tell you a little bit about how these books got to be in the canon. Basically, Someone staked their career on that book, and it wasn't the author. So if you're looking at, oh gosh, let's say Charles Dickens. Yes, Charles Dickens was writing to be a professional author. He put those books out, he wrote them. I don't remember if he was one of those people that was getting paid by the word. I know Edgar Allan Poe was getting paid by the word. So you'll end up reading like one of his poems inserted in a weird spot in one of the stories, and you're going, why is that there? He was getting paid by the word. Okay. I don't know if Dickens was, but Dickens was publishing books, and his goal was not, I'm going to publish the most famous books ever and I'm going to have classics and everybody 200 or 300 years from now is going to be reading my books. It was, I'm going to write this book because this is what I want to write for my audience. My audience is enjoying my books and I'm going to keep doing that. So what happened was, we are reading those books because someone went, I really like Charles Dickens and I think everybody should like Charles Dickens. So I'm going to be a Charles Dickens scholar. So they started studying his work and writing papers on his work and talking about his work. And maybe they wrote books on his work. And then other people picked up on it and started doing the same thing, because you got to argue with somebody, right? And they didn't have Facebook back then. So you had to do it in a scholarly way by everybody writing about Charles Dickens. So people started talking about his work and writing, putting things out in journals about his work. And that's how books become classics, because everybody's talking about it. That's how it works. It's not because everybody read Charles Dickens and went, you know what? Little Dorrit is such an amazing book, or Bleak House, or why can't I think of any of the names of his books that you've actually read? Um, a Christmas, the Christmas one with Tiny Tim. Christmas Carol, that one, or one of his other books. Nobody said, we all agree, everyone in England agrees that this is the best book, so we're going to make it a classic. It was because a lot of people staked their careers on that book, and that's how it got to be in the canon. Okay, so I don't want you to sit there and worry about, I have to write the best book, I have to please the most people, everybody has to love my book, or else it's not going to sell copies. The truth here is, when you write your book, it has to be something that you are staking your career on. You are putting yourself behind that book. You are pushing it out there. Because if you aren't doing it, then who knows if someone else will? Someone might, but do you want to leave it up to chance? Or do you want it to be what works for you? That's why people get PR people. That's why people do marketing. That's why people get on Facebook and make a lot of noise when they write their books. That's why they have launch parties. That's why they get on Instagram and do lots of pictures from all their friends reading their book. That's why they get on Amazon and have tons of people write reviews. That's why all this stuff happens, because they want their book to be a success. Not because they want everybody to love it, but they want their audience to love it. So if you get anything out of this, I want you to remember that not everybody has to like your book. Okay, number one, the right people need to like your book. And you yourself need to put your name on that book and really freaking own it, because you are the one responsible for its success. Not everybody in America or China or New Zealand or wherever you live. It's you pushing it out, getting your audience to know about it, getting the right people to see it. So if you have comments or questions, please drop them in the comments. I'd love to chat about this. I know some lovely PR people I can connect you with. This is super important. You can't just leave your book up to chance. You want to write the best book you possibly can for you, for your audience, for your brand, and then get that marketing and PR behind it to make sure it's a success. Yes.